जय श्री माता जी। श्री माता जी को प्रणाम करते हैं और बंधन लेते हैं। तीन महामंत्र, उसके पश्चात श्री गणेश मंत्र। दाएं हाथ को भूमि पर रखिए, अपना पूरा अटेंशन सहस्त्रार पर। श्री माता जी, कृपा करके हमारे ईड़ा नाड़ी में जो भी असंतुलन है उसे भूमि तत्व द्वारा दूर कीजिए। दायां हाथ श्री माता जी की ओर, बाएं हाथ को आकाश की ओर करिए। अपना पूरा अटेंशन सहस्त्रार पर। श्री माता जी, कृपा करके हमारे पिंगला नाड़ी में जो भी असंतुलन है, उसे आकाश तत्व द्वारा दूर कीजिए। बायां हाथ श्री माता जी की ओर, अपना पूरा अटेंशन सहस्त्रार चक्र पे। श्री माता जी, आप ही साक्षात श्री सहस्त्रार स्वामिनी हो। श्री माता जी, कृपा करके हमारे आत्मा को प्रकाशित करके हमें निर्विचार और निर्विकल्प स्थिति प्रदान कीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा करके आप हमारे ध्यान में गहनता प्रदान कीजिए। इसी ध्यान की स्थिति में हम श्री माता जी की अमृतवाणी ग्रहण करेंगे।
To all the seekers of truth, at the very outset, we have to know what is the truth. Whatever I am going to tell you, you should not believe it blindfolded. We have had enough trouble with the blind faiths. So I would just request you to keep your mind open to understand what is the truth. First of all, I am so enamored to see so many people trying to understand divinity of Sri Ganeshwara. He was too great, he was too subtle. And I don't know how many people really could understand him without being themselves self-realized, without being knowing their self. Even Muhammad Sahib has said that if you do not know yourself, you cannot understand God Almighty. Everybody, even Christ has emphatically said it. I don't want now to tell you how many people have said that you have to know yourself. Whether it is Jainism, Buddhism, any isms that has sprouted. But how many of them are trying to know the self? The problems are coming in this country or in all the countries all over the world because of complete ignorance about themselves. We go on giving lectures, don't have this, don't do that, don't have envy, don't hate people, all sorts of lectures are going on. That has been done many a times now. People can't give it up. They will have some difficulty in giving up this or that. It has to be understood that still human beings have to rise higher than what they are. They need a transformation. Talking is not going to help. Words are not going to help them. I'm sorry I have to say this. I'm so happy there are people who are willing to listen to this. Adi Shankaracharya has said very clearly, Mother, remove my Shabda Jalam. Is remove this mess of words. The truth is that you are not this body, this mind. These emotions, this intelligence, this ego, these conditionings, but you are the pure spirit. We see here beautiful flowers. We take it for granted. We don't even think that this is such a miracle that Mother Earth is producing different type of flowers, different type of fragrance. We don't understand that we ourselves are a miracle. We have no valuation of our own life because we don't know ourselves. What Sri Jnanadeva has described in his Amritanubhav is something which you can only really appreciate when you know yourself. For example, He was a master of similes, I must say. And he has tried to convince the so-called intellectuals and rationalists through his own great expertise in using similes. One of the similes, there are so many of them, he talks of the Amrutanubhav, it's the experience of the ambrosia. Experience, again, it is the experience, not just talking about it. And this experience he has described like this, beautifully, that there is a picture, you see, beautiful painting where you see the rain and see the nature and all the beauty that nature can provide. You are watching it, you are enjoying it, but you are just seeing it superficially. You have to enter into that rain, you have to enter into that area of beauty. Otherwise we are just superficially doing everything. He has given so many similes that in this short lecture I may not be able to tell. But one after that, he has tried to describe the state we call Sahaja, means the state of oneness with the divine. You can call it Sahaja. Sahaja means born with you, this spontaneity. This state, when you achieve, I should say not achieve, but it happens to you, when you have this experience of Sahaja, then what happens to you? He says, like at the sun. Sun has got its rays, and the rays go and play all over, but again they go back. In Marathi it is, ki apyata samautat. They get contained in themselves. In the same way, a person who is a realized soul, he is doing every kind of thing outside, but he is absolutely absorbed inside. Because inside you are so glorious, so beautiful, that one has to really rise to that height of Sahajavastha, state of self-realization. It is not at all difficult, this is personal. The theory about getting self-realization, when people hear about it, they want to say so many things that you get frightened. You have to stand on your head, you have to go to Himalayas, you have to stand on one leg, all sorts of things people do. For that, Guru Nanak has said, Kahe Nanak bin apa chine mite na Brahma ki kai. Without knowing yourself, you cannot understand. Every one of them in the 16th century and of course Ganeshwara, earlier 12th century, have said the same thing. All of them say the same thing because truth is seen by everyone the same way. Now one can say they were also tortured and troubled, I agree, because of ignorance. It's complete ignorance. And this ignorance we can easily prevail upon by becoming ourselves. Today I am going to tell you, we have within us all these powers. As Sri Ganeshwara has described in the 6th chapter, that there is a force called Kundalini within us, which when awakened gives you the self. But as you know, everywhere there are fundamentalists, we call them dharma martanda. And they said that this is something one should just avoid, this we cannot, because they can't do it. So that was not read anymore. Neither people ever tried to have. But in these modern times it is predicted that is going to happen to thousands of people, and it has happened also. A speciality of this age that it is happening all over the world. I am surprised myself. This is the power that you have within yourself. I am not obliged. Neither you are obliged. It is your own power that rises and gives you this selfhood, which is being described by Sri Sant Dhaneshwara. And this state of Sahaja Avastha is very easy to achieve. But people don't want to have something simple, you know. I was surprised, like blind people, they can't find anything, they go round, 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 like that, they go round, round, round. It is very simple. It is within you, it is your own. Now look at this mic, just now it failed, so you understand. If it is not connected to the mains, if it is not at all connected to the mains, it has no meaning, it has no identity. So it has to be connected to the mains. Now what is that mains? That is the all-pervading divine power of love. By saying we must love, we must not hate, it's not going to work out. I can understand. Unless and until you are one with that divine power, you cannot get the power of love. And this is very easy to achieve. I'm not telling you something very fantastic. There are so many sitting here who have known this and have got it. But you should have an open mind. What are the hurdles? First, I said, ignorance. Another is rationality. This mind, I would say, is a myth. It is made by us through our ego and our conditions. And when we use this mind to transcend or to go higher, it cannot work out because it is artificial. How will it work out? It will only work out when you take to the gifts that you have already within you. Now this is the gift of evolutionary process. You are a human being, but you are not yet perfect. That's why all these problems. Integrate religions through your mind. Integrate this by your mind. It will not work, I tell you, it will not work. The integration must take within, first of all, and then you see for yourself that this is all falsehood. All religions themselves should have been self-oriented, but they are not. They are money-oriented, power-oriented, this-oriented, that-oriented. Because of ignorance only, again I will say, why did they torture Sri Ganadeva? Why? When he is not here, we are celebrating. What happened? Why? Because he had the truth with him. The one who has the truth is always prepared. He knows that he'll be tortured, he'll be troubled, And nobody is going to listen to such a person. That's a fact. We have seen all the saints have suffered. Not only in India, all over the world. Wherever there have been people who are saints, who have talked of divinity, of the truth, they have suffered. Nobody accepted them. For example, in England, William Blake, they thought he was a madman. When everybody is mad, if you go to a madhouse, to a lunatic asylum, all the lunatics think that you are mad. Same way, it has been happening. It's very sad. So many have come on this earth. Not only in India, as I said, all over I find them. They were Sufis. They were people of great talents. But they suffered, all of them suffered. Even Socrates had to take the poison. So you can imagine the people who have been getting involved into some sort of a destructive behavior towards saints because they were blind. So one has to forgive them, because blind man can hit anyone, you can't help it. But what about today, when we are so much enlightened, people are talking big things and all that is happening in this world? What is it that is keeping us away from the truth? And that is, again, I should say, the hurdle is of Mr. Ego. I'm sorry to say. This ego comes because we think we know science. We can't even make one drop of water, we can't even make our own. A little amount of Mother Earth. We can't. Humble down and see for yourself whatever science has achieved is nothing compared to what exists. With science you cannot reach reality, but from reality you can come to science. Because in the light of reality you can see how far we have come in science and how far we have come. It is very, very important, because I think you people represent very acme, I should say, of human beings. And I would request you, all of you, to understand that unless and until you get your self-realization, no use talking about anything. In Marathi say, बोलाचाचं भात, बोलाचीचं कढी. You have words, and words you eat, and words you talk, and words you give. These are empty words. But when the Kundalini within you rises, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about Kundalini or not, but I can't do without it. That power that is in the triangular bone, which is in the sacrum bone. Why was it called the sacred bone by Greeks? This sacrum bone contains that power, 3.5 points, which rises through your 6 centers. Now these 6 centers are responsible for your physical, mental, emotional, also spiritual being. So when she rises, spontaneously, you don't have to do anything, spontaneously it rises and pierces through your fontanelle bone. And you become one with this all-pervading power of divine love. In Sanskrit called Paramachaitanya. You do become. So it has to be an experience. And the experience that you can feel this power on your fingertips. Imagine, the 5th Imam has said that when the time of Qiyamah, transformation will come, your hands will speak and give witness against you. You will know the truth on your palm. This is exactly what happens. And you know the absolute truth because everybody says the same thing. So how will you quarrel? How will you fight? How can you have wars? No question. Is such description of such people is in Pasaida absolutely the same. That they become your relation. Techi soyari ka hoti. They become your relations. All other relationships drop and you become one with all of them. Whether they are Christian, Hindu, Muslims or anything, whether they are black or white, whether they are from Russia or from England. You should see how the world becomes one. But people don't like if you talk of global oneness. They don't like it. There was a big thing against me that I'm talking of global religion. And why? Because they want to have different religions to fight, that's all. Why do they want to have different religions? Just to fight. Otherwise, I don't understand why it's essential to have different religions. And when people who are rationalists perceive the religion the way it has been created a new atmosphere of hatred, no peace at all, then they criticize naturally. Because what is the outcome of it? I don't blame them for that. The fighting comes because again of ignorance. We have nowadays wars after wars, cold wars, I don't know, all kinds of wars in the name of God. Can you imagine such a thing can happen? How can we fight in the name of God? How can we have killings, violence in the name of God? Now one may say our value system is finished. Why? How are we going to put it right? What is the solution? Only solution, you have to have self-knowledge. That gives you the strength. That gives you a kind of personality which is described by Sri Jnaneshwara. That is the personality we have to achieve. And that is not at all difficult. It works out in no time. But you are still adhering to some ideas. If you are in the clutches, I always say, of the crocodile, and don't want to come in the boat, what can I do? In the name of God, these are crocodiles. Maybe some other name you can give it to it. And thus people are lost. When you see, you just cry and weep. You don't know what to say. When you hear that this whole community was tortured because they follow a particular religion, then another community is trying to attack because they are following another religion. When we say in essence all religions are the same, it just says it is not that it is a part and parcel of our understanding.
श्री माता जी, आपने हमसे ध्यान करवा के लिया और हमें परम चैतन्य से आशीर्वादित किया। श्री माता जी, आपको कोटि कोटि प्रणाम। श्री माता जी को नतमस्तक होकर प्रणाम करते हैं और बंधन देते हैं। जय श्री माता जी।